Hey everybody, Jeff Johnson here from A Film by Podcast with some exciting news before you start today's episode. This Friday, November 1st at 7 p.m., we'll be joined by actress Tiffany Helm and writer-director Niall Cavazos Garcia talking about their new Christmas horror movie, Catnip. It's being called Gremlins for Grown-Ups, featuring a ferocious band of feral killer cats. And the best part is, you can be involved in this production. The Catnip Kickstarter campaign is live right now, and during Friday's episode, the Catnippers will be offering a contest for all the viewers who contribute money to their campaign. One lucky winner will be drawn for a perk package upgrade. You donate $100, you could be awarded the perks from the $250 package. Donate $250 and you could get the $500 perks, and so on. So make sure you tune in this Friday at 7 p.m. And remember, when you're donating to the Catnip movie, include the phrase "a film by" in the comments of your Kickstarter pledge to participate in this cool contest. The website is catnipmoviecampaign.com. Just click on the link you'll find in today's show notes and join us this Friday, November 1st at 7 p.m. You don't want to miss this conversation or this contest. Space, the final frontier. Join us for a bold conversation. Our prime directive: to recap our favorite Star Trek shows, both new and old. To engage in debate about all things Trek. Prepare to energize with phasers set to stun.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Phasers Set to Stun, where we continue to show our love for everything Star Trek. In this ongoing series from A Film by Podcast, we explore every quadrant of the expanding universe of Trek by covering television, animation, movies, directors, and much more. Plotting the course as always is your core Trek crew. I'm Scott Hoffman.
I'm David Burns.
And I'm Wayne Whited.
And in this episode, we're drawn back into the animated side of Star Trek with one of our favorite fresh new series, Lower Decks, which is unfortunately having its final season. We're glad to have it back.
Yeah, ooh.
Before we talk about the latest adventures of the USS Cerritos, we're calling for a red alert. This episode is full of spoilers, obviously. So if you haven't seen the latest episode, please go watch it and then come back to join us. We'll be here waiting for you. We're dedicating this episode to Star Trek writer Jeri Taylor, who passed away recently at the age of 88. Jeri was a key writer and producer, starting with The Next Generation in its fourth season before becoming a showrunner for the final season. She was also an executive producer on Voyager, as well as showrunner on that series for the third and fourth seasons. Jeri was the writer behind The Drumhead, Part 1 of Unification, Part 1 of Descent, as well as several Deep Space Nine episodes that I'm sure we'll be talking about soon. Jeri, thank you for all you brought to our Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Now let's break down the latest episode, Dos Cerritos. Dave, why don't you give us a summary of what it's all about?
All right. Written by Aaron Burdett and directed by Megan Lloyd. The USS Cerritos is caught in a quantum fissure where they discover another timeline version of themselves, and each of the crew come face to face with their alternate selves. Meanwhile, somewhere in another quadrant, Tendi is trying to do her best by living up to the promise she made to her sister, by returning to life with her Orion family, but she clearly wants out so she can return to the place that made her happy.
Wayne, what are your initial thoughts on this first episode, coming back to Lower Decks?
I thought it was a great opener for the season because it's pure tried and true Star Trek. I mean, it really is. I mean, meeting oneself from an alternate universe. We've seen that so many times.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Lower Decks, it's perfect. I mean, you know, they poke fun at these things that we've seen a million times. So
Yep.
I thought it was perfect. You know, usually we see it's the mirror universe we see, but here we get a little bit of a different take to the alternate universe. So, you know, things that could have been if they had taken a different path. And it's really funny to see the differences in them all. I enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they're kind of surprised by that.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't seem like it's, you know, vastly different other than Otherford, who is pretty different, but for a good reason. We've got an updated opening credit sequence,
Yeah.
which is always a welcome sight.
Always.
They're expanding on that worst day ever battle sequence where
Yep.
they just throw everything you possibly can in the worst case scenario.
Yes.
I don't remember seeing the crystalline entity last time,
Yeah, he was in there. That one was in there. Yeah.
but I noticed the giant green hand.
Yeah, the green hand is
Yeah,
new.
that's new.
Yeah.
Was it that a Tholian web they were
Yeah, that was
creating?
new. Yeah.
And Wayne, I'll turn to you. The massive ship from Star Trek: The Motion Picture,
Yeah, V'ger. That was my favorite part. I couldn't believe that appeared.
especially how it kind of like just it fills up the entire background with this crazy, like this ominous sound. Yeah, I thought it was a great way to focus on Tendi right from the get-go, because I think
Yeah.
that was one of the dangling questions at the end of last season, what would happen. And obviously they're trying to wrap it up.
Mhm.
So it makes sense to explore that in depth in these first 2 episodes.
I mean, this it really is an epilogue to what happened in the inner fight in Old Friends, New Planets. We had a lot of stuff wrapped up in this episode, which is I'm glad they started it and did it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, they had to, and they actually stretched it out for the 2 episodes. I'm glad they didn't, quickly wrap
Yeah.
it up, and
Yeah.
because it was actually rather important story plot
Mhm.
and her character.
Yeah, I like that we're catching up to Tendi after she's been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It gives her some chance to catch up with family and maybe embrace her Orion side a little bit more. We're definitely getting a lot more Orion than we ever have in Star Trek history. So it's
yeah.
really nice to see. Let's talk about some of those alternate counterparts
Yeah.
from this one. I'll start us off with alternate T'Lyn, who seem to be almost exactly like the other T'Lyn, other than saying remarkable and fascinating.
I think that's one of
It's
the things that got me the
hysterical.
most. That
Yeah.
was so funny.
Yeah. Well, there were certain parts where I was like, did we get the original T'Lyn back, or did they just agree to do some kind of switch and they'll come back later? I don't know. It was a little weird. Wayne, what about you? What other alternates stood out for you?
Well, I mean, I liked some of the lesser characters in the background, like King Billups, and
Yeah.
you have Ransom with his awful mullet.
Yeah.
You get Marner. She's the asshole captain with the riding crop. That made me laugh too.
Yeah.
It's just great. You got the sure and confident Boimler. I just love the differences, the contrasts between the two versions of the characters.
Wasn't
Come
there
on.
another captain from one of the movies that had a riding crop?
Yeah, in Star Trek 3, and he was an asshole too.
Yeah.
See, it goes along with the territory.
See, there you go. Maybe he's an admiral somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
maybe.
sure he is. I'm sure he is.
We can't forget about Captain Freeman. She's on Starbase 80.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Starbase 80 is the worst.
I think my favorite was the Kaishans. Temba when he met himself. I'm a sucker for that every single time. Dave, what about you?
No, I mean all of them. Boimler obviously was. I was getting a kick out of his character, so I felt like his counterpart was very similar to him, just a lot more confident, obviously. And Boimler picked up some of that a little bit that he got, even when he at the end when he was so commanding on the bridge. He was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
Did you see he did the reverse Riker maneuver? At the
Yes.
yes, he did."
Yes.
I loved it.
That's one of the brilliant things about this show. I mean, if you're coming into this to the phaser set to stun, you've been listening for a while, but you haven't caught on to Lower Decks, you really owe it to yourself to get into this, because there's, I mean, the tiniest Easter eggs to the biggest plot threads. It has a lot to offer, a lot of deep cuts across a lot of different Star Trek series. So, I mean, there's really something in it for everybody. And
I would just love to be in that writing room when
Yeah.
they're going through and like, what can we put into this episode, that gives an homage to other Star Trek? I would just love to be able to do something like that, man. And Wayne, I know
yeah.
you would for sure.
that would be a dream job. I would love to do that. So much fun.
well, I'm sure they could put together some kind of like a Where's Waldo poster for that worst day ever battle sequence, because it seems like they're just kind of like, all right, let's have the floating whale sausage in there. You want a giant green hand? Sure. We'll
Why
have that
not?
with the crystal identity. Why not?
Yeah.
I think one of the most unusual ones was the Rutherford-Otherford duo, which was an interesting choice. Like of all the characters, he's one that's changed the most.
Yeah.
Because his Tendi isn't there. So that was an interesting choice to say, like, without Tendi, he would lose himself in the work. I guess that's trying to say.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
He's eliminated the humanity, the human parts of him, and embrace the mechanical. And just like they said in the episode, he's practically a Borg.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which made me a little worried when Rutherford went over and took his little screwdriver and just kind of adjusted something at the back of his head.
Yeah.
I was like, don't turn the switch from good to evil. That's how the Borg start. Don't do it.
We've learned our lesson in Star Trek. Don't mess with the droids.
Exactly.
Droids, no.
No tinkering.
No.
One element that kind of surprised me, because I'm not as versed in the Star Trek animated series, the OG.
Mm-hmm.
But the Blue Orions.
No, the Orions.
The Orions, yeah.
Orions.
Blue Orions.
Sorry, the Orions.
It was like the
God.
Pirates of Orion episode, I think.
Yeah, Orions.
Was the name of the episode? Yeah.
Yeah,
Orions.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That cracked me up.
I just love that Wayne keeps correcting it. He's like, Orions.
Orions.
I mean, we all knew back when we watched it that they were, pronouncing it wrong. But I think it's hilarious that they brought that up in this episode.
Yeah. There's some producer who's just like, look, just go with it. Just finish the episode.
Yeah.
We're almost done. But they had a great, filmation, kind of Flash Gordon kind of look to them. And I love that they just leaned all the way into it. And it was just so odd looking, but it seemed to fit the way they animated him here.
I think so. One of the unique things I think that they did in this episode that I loved was, how when you have the alternate universe of the characters and like their uniforms are way completely different than the versions of the people we have. This one, they only did darken their uniforms. Did you notice that? It's all it was. Was a richer color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ransom was barely changed. Like they have all these different decisions like King Billups, but Ransom is just like, I don't know, darker uniform, mullet. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then he's completely in love with himself, where he's like, I get to push the button, you handsome bastard. So we have a lot of important moments in this one. Obviously, it's an important episode for Tendi. The crew learns a little bit more about themselves. Boimler steals some kind of pad from his Riker counterpart, and you can see that that's probably going to be something that continues to play out.
Yep.
But of all the characters in this episode, Wayne, which one do you think shined the most?
Oh, for me, it'd have to be Tendi. I mean, I loved all the alternate universe stuff, but she's been given center stage because she's completing that storyline. Her story stood out the most for me because I found it to be the most interesting because it's such big character development for her. Plus, I love the Orion and the idea of of her family and that's my favorite part.
Yeah, Dave, what about you?
Exactly the same for me. It's Tendi because she's surrounded by pirates. She's doing something she really doesn't want to do, but she's doing it because she made that promise to her sister, and so she's maintaining doing that, but still making sure that she still stays true to herself. And I absolutely love that about her character in this. There's no doubt she was the standout in my opinion.
So I'm gonna change things up a little bit then.
Of course you are. You're gonna
Because
Hoffman
you're
it up.
you. I'm gonna say Mariner, specifically our Mariner. I think she's showed so much growth since we saw her last. She's not rebelling against where her career is headed, and she's clearly kind of thinking about defining the kind of captain that she wants to be. She's finally accepting the fact that it is a possibility. Obviously, she doesn't want the writing crop, and it's kind of a, several leaps forward for her. But I feel like if this had happened in season 1, she would react a lot differently than what we're seeing.
Yeah, sure. She would.
And I feel like she shows some maturity and some leadership, especially in the situation where she's kind of swapping places, learning how to trick the computer into letting her out of the cuffs. I don't know. I think it's a good way to see the start of the season with this kind of Mariner 2.0.
You could even parallel that with Michael in Discovery, how she ran into herself,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you could really see that here with these characters on how she would have reacted differently from first season to this. So I mean, we did see that in Discovery. So
Yeah.
I definitely can see that here being that same situation with her.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she had some of the funniest lines, in my opinion, too. I mean, when she
Yeah.
gives the sarcastic Vulcan salute and doesn't like, I thought that was hilarious.
She gets called on it. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. All right. Well, if you could have been any character in the episode, who would it have been and why?
Again, I'm going to have to choose Tendi, because despite she's doing something that she doesn't want to, but she's keeping her own morals, her own honor, the Starfleet way. She's back home. She's fighting with her sister. It looks like so much fun, so much adventure that she's going on right now, and that's who I'd want to be. I love all the stuff and everybody what they did on the Cerritos, but she looks like she's having the most fun.
Dave, I'm going to guess that you agree.
Yeah, once again, Wayne is reading my notes, listeners, so I apologize that I have to repeat exactly what Wayne is saying. He keeps stealing everything from me. But no, definitely, it's Tendi. I definitely would like to have been her in there, just to get to be a pirate, get to be with my family, and still possibly have that opportunity to go back to the world that I loved, which was Starfleet. So, absolutely. What about you,
I'll
Scott?
round it out
I'm
with
curious.
a third Tendi.
There we go.
I'll round it
Ah,
out with a third Tendi, but in a different time. I'd love to be Tendi after they seize the Collector's ship.
Okay.
So that you can, it's probably Easter egg heaven in there. There's probably a lot of things to look through, assuming the guy's collection isn't full of Ryza artifacts and sex.
It probably is.
You can bet that.
I'm sure that room they were in smelled horrible. But I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll find a Babe Ruth card with a original bubblegum smeller, whatever they had in the first place.
Yeah.
All right, well, like we said before, Lower Decks does a great job of sneaking in a lot of Easter eggs. We've already talked about the blue Orions, and all the things we saw in the Collector's ship. Wayne, what else did you notice?
Well, we talked a little bit about that opening title sequence and the things that were added into it. But there's one thing I'm not sure if you guys caught or not that it made me laugh. When the actual title of the show appears, Lower Decks, you notice that little blue stream underneath it. It is the 5th season of Lower Decks, so they decided to do that because that's what the Next Generation did during their 5th season. They had that little blue streak underneath the logo that quickly dropped after that season.
Interesting.
That opening scene with Tendi, that looks like they're stealing from Paler Toff. That was the character from the Next Generation season 3 episode Most Toys. I saw a lot of things in his collection. I saw the Vulcan Lust idol, which he again shows his pride for. There was the Bajoran tablet from the 6th season Deep Space Nine episode The Reckoning, which that's the episode that revealed the war between the Prophets and the Par-Wraiths. And then there was a Horgon from the planet Ryza. And then, of course, we saw the Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan phaser, which I was happy to see that. And also, we've got on the Cerritos, Mariner and T'Lyn were playing Calto, which was a popular game on the USS Voyager. There's a mention of Naomi Wildman, who was also from Voyager. She was the first child to be born on the ship. That rainbow effect that was seen when the Cerritos gets sucked into that fissure is very similar to the effect from Star Trek The Motion Picture when the Enterprise gets sucked into their wormhole when they try to go to warp. And I also saw that Tendi still has her USS Cerritos model that she built with Rutherford in the 2nd season episode, The Embarrassment of Duplers. Got lots of Orion callbacks. First, let me address the Blue Orions, who look and act exactly like the Orions that appeared in Star Trek: The Animated Series. That, as you mentioned, David, that's the Pirates of Orion. They has pronounced that so weird. But it's neat that they have that callback because a lot of people think, when they look at the animated series, they either forget that it even exists or don't think of it as actual Star Trek. So I'm glad to have those connections. And boy, did they connect it because it looks exactly like it. The 300-year-old Orion ship that Tendi was sent to retrieve for looks just like the Orion ship that appeared in the remastered visual effects for the original series, the episode Journey to Babel. And finally, we finally get to learn Beckett's full name in this episode, Beckett Mariner Freeman, which I think we all knew that.
Yep.
Dave, any others stand out to you?
Once again, everybody, Wayne has taken all the notes from my. I don't have anything to repeat. No, there is one. The quantum fissure. It's the same anomaly that Worf got caught up in parallels.
Yes, that's right.
Yep. Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. I love the fact that when they were kind of ending the scene with the collector on the ship, and one of the Orion crew wanted to take the, what do they call that, facial decor that he
nose
has.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and he yells out, "It's prescription! What are you doing?" So, all right. Anything else we want to say about that first episode?
Nope. It was
covered it.
It was good. It was very
was.
enjoyable to watch and have Lower Decks back.
Yeah.
Even though it's for the final season, at least we're gonna get some episodes to enjoy.
Yeah.
Totally agree. All right. Well, let's take a quick break before we break down the other premiere episode, Shades of Green. We'll be right back. We're back. Let's get into Shades of Green. Wayne, can you tell us what it's all about?
Yes, this episode was directed by Bob Soares and written by Keith Fogelsong. A war is ordered by the Orion Queen between the family Tendi and the Blue Orions to be settled with a dangerous race through an asteroid belt. Devana Tendi learns that her sister is pregnant and, in trying to protect her, nearly forfeits the race and crashes her sailing ship. Meanwhile, the Cerritos is helping a recently admitted to the Federation planet shed its economy and return to a post-scarcity economy. But some of the planets resent the change and kidnap two ensigns who are forced to remember the advice of Lieutenant Boimler in order to survive.
So my first question about this one, was it the Targalans? Was that the planet where they were seeing them?
Yeah, that's right.
Give up their currency.
Yeah.
Have we seen them before?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I didn't see anything in my research, so I think they're new.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that was a great kind of subplot to this. It seems like all that burning money would be a Ferengi nightmare.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing.
I love the little things they put in there, like a T-shirt that says "No money, no problems."
Yeah.
And we get to see a lot more of Boimler in a leadership role. Dave, what do you think about Boimler in this one?
Get your
Boimler's pointers.
So
Exactly.
yeah, no, absolutely. He started to take some pointers from himself, his other self that he met in the last episodes. I think that's where they're going with this, and he's trying to be, more commanding and doing the right thing, which he kind of gets a little bit trouble. Let him have fun, and he actually does do that. Which gets him into a little bit of trouble. But hey, that gives us some antics that we can enjoy with him. But no, I thought. I like that they were going that way with this character in this episode.
I love the fact that since it's animated, they've got just two little mustache lines on each side of his lip for his partial mustache. I think that's just a nice touch.
Funny.
Remember, lift with your legs and your spine will be fine.
I feel like that's going to be the new rules of acquisition, right?
Yeah.
Boimler's pointers number 75. Wayne, what about you? What are your thoughts on Boimler in this one?
Oh, of Boimler, I think he's great. I've got to mention again, just like you said, that little hint of a mustache kept making me laugh every time I saw him. It's like he's trying so much to be his alternate self, but he just can't quite grow it. It's so funny. I'm curious about where they're going with his storyline and with the storyline of the entire season. I mean, we've got 2 episodes already, and I can't figure it out exactly what this overlying storyline will be. But I'm sure that pad and something with Boimler is going to be involved in it.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it's not necessarily going to reveal anything about their future, but I don't know. I could see that being kind of a Gray's Almanac kind of situation where he's trying to follow this other Boimler so closely, but he's wrecking his original timeline the way that was supposed to play out.
That's not a bad thought. That's actually a good thing. It's a good thought there.
but we'll see. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling anything. Or it's
Yeah.
a horrible idea.
Well,
They'll never come into
it's a
it.
guess, so I mean, you're really not spoiling anything.
No.
Right, exactly. So obviously, as you mentioned, we get more of Tendy's story, which I love seeing play out in this one. You get a lot more of her relationship with her sister,
Yeah.
a lot more of an insight into the dynamics on the Orion world, and you get an idea for why she's so protective of her sister, because it turns out her sister is pregnant with the future mistress of the Winter Constellation.
Yeah.
I love the relationship building in this one. I love that we get more of a chance to focus on Tendi, and the rest of the crew seems to be kind of a subplot to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's well done here.
I like the fact that like everyone on the crew knew she was pregnant except for Tendi. So
Yeah,
the whole thing of she's trying to protect her sister and trying to not say that she knows when everyone else is, oh yeah, we already knew that, whatever.
right, right. And then Tendi completely doesn't understand. She's like, "What? But you're pregnant?" And she's like, "Yeah, but like my mom fought like 9 wars when she was pregnant with you."
Yeah.
And
Well, she was like in the middle. She got pregnant. I mean, she gave birth to one of them. Was it like in the middle of a sword fight or something like that?
Right,
What she
right.
said?
Yep. I thought it was a clever use of the sail barges.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
I know that'll come up in Easter eggs. It immediately gave me kind of Tron kind of vibes. But I thought it was a clever way to kind of slow things down a little bit without using warp capabilities or anything else like that. Just completely on, what was it, solar wind?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was a nice element to it.
It really reminded me, in Star Trek people, don't hate on me when I say this. It really reminded me of Count Dooku's ship in
Yes.
the Star Wars prequels, didn't it?
Yeah. It did have that look.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
It absolutely did.
Yeah. Now that you mention it. Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think we saw something similar in Strange New Worlds.
Well, I mean, there is
I
something
think there was
very
an
similar
episode
in
where they
Deep,
used one.
there is something very similar in Deep Space Nine. And I think
Okay.
that's where
We'll
that's
have
where
to go
their
back and watch
inspiration.
Strange New Worlds again.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, that's where this came from. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where it is from. Yeah.
What about the Gardner Guard battle bots that we saw, where they were like giant bottles that had phasers strapped to them or something like
They
that?
were more like butlers and maids. They
Yeah.
just had guns
Yeah.
strapped to them. Like, look, one of them's trying
Yeah.
to sweep the rug.
Right. I forgot to water them. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a great part.
I'm very satisfied with the way they ended Tendy's Orion storyline, how they wrapped it all up. With the situation on the planet and all the loot that they had to dispose of, I thought that was a very clever way of tying both storylines in together. I will say while I didn't like this episode as much as the first one, I still like the episode. It had a lot going with it, with a lot of character building. I'm glad that they were able to give Tendi a moment to shine, with this being the last season. I'm glad that they did that. I hope they do that with more of the characters.
It definitely felt like they completed her character here. I know there's more to her, obviously, but I feel like they really did a good job of wrapping up what we had from the previous season with her in the first 2 episodes of this season. So yeah, kudos to them for the writers on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There was an interesting kind of it seemed like a small part of it, but there's an interesting line when it said that Tendi realizes that she would have to basically stay on Orion to train the next mistress of the Winter Constellation. And I know that she was allowed to kind of step out of that and return to who she wants to be in Starfleet, but it also seems to give her another in and another place where her character could possibly go toward the end of the season, right? Or someplace we might even see her in the future.
I think
'Cause
they
would
even
love
said
to
like
think
14
that
years.
after
didn't
the
they?
show ends, it's not the end of it. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, Wayne, let's talk about which character you think shined the most in this one.
Oh, again, it's Tendi. This is her second part of her storyline. This was her episode to explore who she was and her relationship with her family and her sister, and her relationship with Starfleet too. So, once again, it's her.
All right. Dave, what about you?
I am steering a little bit away from Wayne on this one. I'm actually going with two people on this one, but it does tie in with Tindy. I'm going with Rutherford and Talon because as they were both trying to do the same thing by being with someone, Talon was trying to reach out to Rutherford to fill that void of Tindy gone, and then Rutherford explained why he was taking forever on that shuttle. This of course was followed by destroying that shuttle there at the end, so they had to start all over with doing that. So I'm giving it to those two characters.
That's a good choice.
All right. Well, this one I'll give to Tendi. Her, I mean, obviously she's a clear standout in the two-part premiere. She embraced a lot of who she was from an Orion perspective. She embraced the Mistress of the Winter Constellation role. I think it'd be great to see some of the adventures preceding this to see what else she had done. But I think she did an amazing job of combining it with her Starfleet side, especially in that sail ship situation. It seemed like she was kind of grappling a comet or something to that effect to help get back into the race and ultimately tie. But didn't work out too well. Wayne, if you could have been any other character in this episode, who would it have been and why?
Well, this might be a little bit odd, but I have a very simple explanation. I'm going to say
God.
No, I'm going to say Lynn.
Okay.
Just because, one, she really is more and more, every time we see her, becoming more and more part of the Lower Decks crew. But frankly, I love shuttles, and she worked on the shuttle. And I think Starfleet shuttles are fantastic, and the idea of being able to build one and then tearing it apart, I want to be her.
Dave, what about you?
So I'm going with the twofer answer once again. Boimler and Mariner, because who wouldn't want to visit a planet and get to destroy their evil capitalism world? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
We all
Sure.
would want to do something like that. So the mere fact that they were doing that, I would have loved to have been part of that, which would obviously give me some kind of new pointer that I could create and tell the world about it,
Yep. Well, I'm going to be working in the shuttle bay with Wayne because I had said I'd want to be Rutherford working with Talin on restoring that old shuttle. Yeah, I mean, just to tinker around. It looked like it was a next generation era shuttle.
Yeah, it was an older shuttle. Yeah.
I don't know. Anytime you get a chance to do some tinkering that doesn't, threaten to blow up the universe or the ship or anything else like that, kind of a ship in the bottle kind of situation, seems like it'd be kind of fun.
I do have a pointer that I want to add to the Star Trek world. If
Okay.
you find an android somewhere that you don't recognize, leave it alone.
Yeah. Very true. Yes. For reference, see our Star Trek Nemesis podcast.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, I know we're going to dive into Easter eggs. There aren't that many, but Wayne, before you get into yours, there are two that caught my eye.
Okay.
In the voice acting side, I noticed that Deborah Wilson plays Shona Tendi. She's been on Star Trek Prodigy a couple of other times, but I recognize her immediately when I saw her picture on IMDb as Sarah Junda from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in the
I didn't know
Jedi Survivor game. I think she has a great role there. Modern Family fans would recognize Erica's voice as Ariel Winter, who played Alex on Modern Family, which was very interesting to me. I had never noticed that before. Wayne, what else did you notice in the world of Easter eggs?
Well, first I got to point out the title of the episode, Shades of Green. That has to be a play on Shades of Grey, one of our favorite episodes from Star Trek: The Next Generation's second season.
Yep.
That's a sarcastic comment, okay, people. Also, Tindy offers her fellow Orions a swig of Pyrithian bat milk, which apparently is good for you. Pyrithian bats, or I should say one in particular, appeared a lot on Star Trek Enterprise. Dr. Phlox kept one in sickbay, and there was an episode called A Night in Sickbay where it gets loose and on the ship, and it drove Captain Archer batty trying to catch it.
It's a pun.
Also, the Orion solar spaceship, as I mentioned earlier, in the race, it reminded me a lot of that ancient Bajoran sailing ship from Deep Space Nine's third season episode Explorers. I'm pretty sure that's where they got the inspiration for it. Again, we see the Orion ships, or the Orion ships, I should say, from the Pirates of Iron, and they are exactly like, I mean, absolutely exactly like they appeared back in the 70s. And then finally, I don't know if you guys caught this because it's a really quick half a second appearance, but there was a really quick Gucci appearance at the end of the episode. He was hiding inside the Sequoia shuttle that T'Lyn was dismantling. He just peers right over the front of the window for a brief second, then disappears.
I didn't even see. I didn't even notice that.
Wow. Eagle Eye Wayne. Jeez.
Yeah, no kidding. Damn.
Dave, you got anything to add to the Easter egg pile?
No, the shades was the only one I really had. So Wayne really pulled some good ones out here that I didn't notice.
The basket is empty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know I haven't seen a trailer for the upcoming episode. Any
No.
thoughts on what you think is ahead of us?
I mean, your one guess was pretty good about the tablet.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're trying to set some of these people up to be leaders, which I mean, no, they've been doing that all along. But I think somehow at the end of this one, they're really going to make that a thing. Whether it's Boimler, Mariner, we know is on the route to do that. So clearly, we're going to get some major character development of who they're going to be at the end of the season, because this is going to be it, unless hopefully we get a movie down the road one day. But
I think we will.
yeah, I think we will too. But beyond that, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't see any big epic like season plot or anything right now, because they've not really focused on anything. They were just basically tidying up what they had at the end of last season. So I don't know.
I mean, there is a season plot. We've heard the producer talk about it in his interviews, but your guess is as good as mine, because I can't see what it is other than that pad that Boimler has.
Yeah.
Scott, your idea is probably the best one that I've heard so far.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they've got in store, I'm all in.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm
Oh,
really
gosh,
hoping
yeah.
that the end of this season at least leaves a door open for an animated movie. It would be great to see more of this go on. I know
I agree.
it's starting to run its course, but I don't think we're done with it by a long shot. So if we have any sway, just know that our listeners would probably agree. Keep Lower Decks going.
We've had 2 strong episodes to start off, so I can't wait to see what the remaining 8 episodes is going to be about. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
for
love
sure.
to see some kind of not talking about a series or anything like that, but somehow give us a little bit of taste of live action again.
Oh yeah,
I absolutely
Yeah.
loved that in Strange New Worlds, and I hope they do something similar like that again. I really do.
yeah, I do too.
There's 2 things that I'm wondering if they're going to work into this. Number one, I don't think we've seen a Q appear.
No.
We did briefly during the first season.
Anywhere near.
Briefly.
Okay. All right.
Because he appears and says something, and then I can't remember which character it is, but she turns around and goes, "Not now, Q," and then he disappears.
Nice. Maybe that's the big green hand.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to see what they would do if they were going to explore some of the old Filmation style. Because I know that we've had some things for Star Trek Day that kind of get into that, and they explored that a little bit, but I don't know. We're in the animated world. It seems like maybe there'd be some kind of crossover there.
Yeah. Never know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
as always, thanks to our listeners for joining us. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me for another one of these.
Always.
Lots of fun.
Yep.
Remember that hailing frequencies are always open for you to share your thoughts and questions on Facebook, Instagram, and your favorite social channels. Email us at afilmbypodcast@gmail.com. Find us online at afilmbypodcast.com. And if you're looking for more exclusive content and swag, send some Latinum our way through Patreon. See you next time for another episode of Phasers Set to Stun.
See ya.